Bruh, Izumi, you need to chill. Like, thank God, like, no one can walk in on me and see what I'm watching, because if anyone would have walked in on me on that one scene with your imagination about your non-blood related little sister, I don't know what I could have said or what I would have said to explain myself, because of just what I witnessed. Like, we're all, oh my, what I hear the sirens, as I've already said, because, oh my god, just that. Okay, so this episode of Eromanga Sensei, it has a pretty sweet conclusion overall, and our main male character finally writes something he wants to write. He gets passion behind it, and he puts it into a book, which is about his little sister. And so he writes this big manuscript on his little sister, and it's kind of more like a confession or like a love letter, basically. It's like him just laying his heart on the table, and, you know, his little sister's getting to see how he feels about her, and how he wants to help her out and allow her to just have dreams and stuff. And when he finally showed her, she started blushing, and then she started saying, like, I'm glad I can work with you. I don't want you to publish this exact copy, because number one, most likely she wants to keep it for herself because it's very special to her, but also because of how embarrassing it is, and probably the secrets it reveals because of her being Eromanga Sensei. It would definitely raise a lot of questions, especially if, you know, this series picks up steam, because many are going to be asking, like, wait a minute, so you're telling me that your little sister does these lewd images for your light novel series? Obviously, that's going to stir up a lot of controversy, and so because of that, that's probably why she wants him to rewrite it, because she doesn't want, you know, people to know how obvious it is that, you know, his little sister is doing his illustrations for him. So I can understand that point of view. But just to see the scene to when they're finally working together, and then she's like, you know, I want to keep this, but I'll definitely work with you, I want to do illustrations for you. It was a very sweet scene, and adorable. But at the same time, though, I'm like, just face-palming because of how dense our main character is. Let me explain. There was a scene towards the end of the episode when she's like, you know, I have someone I'm in love with. That's what his little sister says. And it's very obvious. Like, seriously, you haven't seen enough anime, or you haven't read enough manga or light novels if you didn't catch that, but it's incredibly obvious, also because of the previous work of this, you know, light novel writer. It's pretty obvious that the little sister, when she says, I'm in love with someone's obviously her non-blood related brother, so it's kind of obvious that's who she was, you know, talking about. And our main male character, Izumi, he, very dense, like, he didn't even realize that. I'm like, oh, why does light novel protagonists, or manga protagonists, whatever, why do they have to be so dense? Like, why is that a thing? But yeah, anyways, though, that was interesting to see how that revelation was done, though, of how they're going to start working together. It kind of concretes that fact, but also how both of them were worried about each other, and let me explain. So, as we know, for the past couple episodes, Izumi, our MC, he has been trying his hardest to write something that's good for his little sister to accept him, so she can do illustrations for his upcoming series. So, with that, he was working really hard, but we come to find out with this episode that it wasn't just him working hard trying to make his sister accept him. His little sister, Sagiri, she was also trying to do this as well. She was improving on her art, doing things that normally she wouldn't do, for she could have her brother accept her and allow her to work with him. So both sides were working hard to try to continue working together on the next work, and it was just so sweet how that was being done, of how she tried to improve herself. She was trying to draw these certain scenes where there's action in them, because she says, like, she doesn't really like action stories with death and stuff, because she's sad when a character dies and they're just gone from the series, which I can kind of understand that. But on top of that, though, she doesn't like drawing characters with, you know, big opai, because obviously she doesn't have any. She's flat-chested, and so obviously she feels a little bit weirded out by that, but it also showcases something else about her personality, which I'm like, oh my god, which led to the main character having them lewd thoughts. Sagiri, you know, our main female character, she takes inspiration from herself. For instance, she she doesn't draw big breast characters because she's not big breast. That she uses her own self as an example to draw characters, poses, and stuff like that. And we see that example in this episode when she's, you know, posing in front of a mirror, trying to draw battle action scenes and stuff. So because of that, we know she uses herself as an example. We've even seen this in the first episode. And this shows why some of her artwork was like it, but also to show how she has improved as, you know, an artist because of how she was able to draw big opie on characters. Now, besides all of that, though, I want to talk about passion for a second. We get to see a big example of passion and how it can be a real driving force to do anything in life, especially something that you can take from your life. Inspiration. And that's kind of what was going on with Elf Sensei, Izumi Sensei, and also going on with Eromanga Sensei. All three of these characters showed their own way of how they get inspiration or passion for what they want to do. For instance, Elf Sensei, she takes examples from real life, like cooking. She wants to feel how her characters feel in her story. She wants to understand that, and so she tries to cook or do things where she can imitate her characters and then be able to add this in the story and understand how they feel. It's understandable, and this is stuff I do hear quite often from what writers do. Now, Izumi Sensei, what he does is he writes a book about his life, or his feelings overall for his little sister, and this is also something people do as well. When they're writing stories about, you know, life, or tragic stories, or happy stories, or whatever, sometimes they take inspiration from their own personal life, and that's kind of what was going on there. Izumi using his own life as inspiration to do what he wants to do with his passion. And then Eromanga Sensei, as I've already kind of covered, she was doing drawings, illustrations because of using her own body, kind of, as, you know, a reference point. So there's little different key points here throughout the episode showcasing how some might get passion and just, you know, motivate themselves to do certain things that they really want to do. So a pretty good episode overall. It was a decent episode. I like where it went and all that with the story. Can't wait to see what happens next, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.